right, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Cohen here with you on the Sports Talk Nation, and we got a lot to discuss. A lot going on, obviously, here in the New York sports region. We got the Mets right now in the NLCS, the Yankees in the ALCS. Looks like the Yankees, last I checked, they were up. They were leading in their game, looking like they're poised to take a 2-0 series lead against the Cleveland Guardians. Could we be heading towards a Subway Series? We'll be talking about that in another video a little bit later this week. But right now, it's really another, much like last week, where I came back from London and it was going to be a video on that game, turned into something bigger when the Jets fired Robert Saleh. Here we go again with the Jets making big news the day after a disastrous loss, and on a Tuesday no less, as they go out there and they complete the trade with the Las Vegas Raiders. They bring in Davante Adams, the wide receiver, to finally team up with Aaron Rodgers. These two guys, of course, longtime teammates with the Green Bay Packers. And let's just be fair, when these two were together in Green Bay, they were unbelievable. In fact, obviously, the best years of Adams' career and even some of the best years of Rodgers' career in his prime were when the two of them were together. And now they're back here with the Jets. This has been something that has been discussed, rumored, banted about for well over a year. We started hearing about these rumors about Davante Adams coming to the Jets going back to last year and last November. I remember, going back to the trip when I went to Vegas for that game between the Jets and the Raiders. There was talk that that deal might get done before the Jets even arrived in Las Vegas. Of course, it never happened, as we all know. But it's been a long time. It's been a long anticipated move that has now been completed between these two teams. Now, it comes at a very awkward moment right now for this Jets team because they're coming off of another dispiriting and disastrous loss, this time to the Buffalo Bills, 23-20 on Monday Night Football. And it almost reeks of desperation in a lot of ways, and it leaves a lot of questions right now for this football team moving forward because, yes, Davante Adams adds another dimension to this offense as far as the passing game is concerned. He's certainly a step up from Mike Williams, and that's nothing against Mike Williams, who got thrown under the bus by Aaron Rodgers in his post-game press conference after the game on Monday night, in which he tried to describe that Williams was running the wrong route and had to be on the red line, which is an imaginary line that the receivers have to be on, and instead tried to come back to the ball. Rodgers underthrew the pass, and the pass was intercepted. In fact, it's the second straight week in which Aaron Rodgers has underthrown a ball to Mike Williams at the end of the game, and it got picked off. It happened in London last week against the Vikings to end the game, and it happened on Monday against the Buffalo Bills. So, yeah, Aaron Rodgers threw Mike Williams under the bus. I can't put all the blame for that game on Mike Williams. And I might as well just go right into the rant on this game as it is anyway. Because this team, I sit here and I wonder, who is in the crux of this entire argument is going to be who's really in control of what's going on here at the Jets? Who is really in control? Because it's ironic to me with all this stuff going down, the 3-game losing streak, the Davante Adams trade, the Robert Saleh firing, the appointment of Jeff Ulbrich as the head coach, moving the offensive coordinator, swapping the offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett with Todd Downing, the whole Hassan Reddick mess that just continues to spiral in and out of control. Where's Joe Douglas in all this? Has anybody asked that question? Because we have not heard from him at all. He has been silent. Did Woody Johnson throw him in a broom closet and lock the door? Where is this guy? We haven't heard from him. Now, look, Woody Johnson has been out there, and I appreciate the fact that the owner is out there trying to talk about things, but, I mean, he's starting to sound a little bit like Jerry Jones right now with some of the things he's saying. George Steinbrenner in his prime, saying that he's doing everything he can to win and win right away. And then saying after making a trade despite the 2-4 start, thinking is overrated. You have to look forward. You have to look forward to the games that we're going to play each and every week and try to win all of them. You just have to go with your instincts and what's best thing to build the team. And all of a sudden, Woody Johnson, as I said, now all of a sudden he's Jerry Jones. He's putting pressure on everybody in the building to get this thing done. Look, I understand that. The Jets have invested a lot of money into this season. They had high hopes going into this year. They bought into all the Super Bowl hype. Aaron Rodgers, this offense of talented young individuals, rebuilding the offensive line, which is certainly still an issue right now. And so far, through 6 games, they have come up snake eyes for various reasons. And there's so many reasons that got propped up in that Monday night game, which is why that this trade, as it came down this morning for Davante Adams, feels like a desperation move. Because even though Davante Adams adds something to this offense, he doesn't fix the offensive line, which still can't pass block for Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers was sacked another 4 or 5 times last night, and again was having to just get up slowly and peel himself off the turf because he was getting smacked around last night. He doesn't fix the undisciplinary problems and the lack of focus that is apparent on this team. The Jets flagged for 10 penalties. 10 penalties last night. And I understand there were some calls that were ridiculous and some calls that got missed. Like, for example, Garrett Wilson getting held in the end zone and they didn't call it. Or, for example, the roughing the passer on Josh Allen on Kinlaw that really wasn't really roughing the passer. Those are some bad calls by the referees. It still doesn't excuse the fact that the Jets were undisciplined on Monday night and lacked focus on Monday night. You can't have Kinlaw going up to the referee and start screaming at the referee and drawing another penalty. You can't have that. Where is the focus? Where is the accountability? We've been hearing this word accountability for weeks now, going back to the Denver game. So he doesn't fix the accountability and focus and discipline on this team. Certainly doesn't fix the offensive line. And the defense can't seem to tackle anybody. They can't stop a nosebleed. And I understand, hey, look, in the past, the Jets have had a lot of success against Josh Allen as far as forcing turnovers, getting pressure on him. They didn't get anything on him on Monday night. Yeah, they had him trapped a couple of times and opportunities to bring him down, but he found ways to get himself in and out of tackles. He's an incredible athlete. He's a big man. It's like trying to take down an outside linebacker. That's how big he is. I understand that. But the Jets didn't do anything to stop the Buffalo Bills. They ran right through them the entire game. Drive after drive after drive. Nobody made a big-time stop. Nobody forced the third. It got the Bills off the field. It was a disaster defensively for the Jets. And I understand that Jeff Ulbrich, look, he's got multiple hats right now. He's the head coach, interim head coach, and the defensive coordinator, whereas he was just initially focusing on the defensive side of the ball when Robert Saleh was the head coach here. I understand that. But this defense is not looking any better than it did the week before against Minnesota when they spotted the Vikings 17 points in the first half. It's really discouraging. So how does this trade, beyond just the fact that it adds another depth piece, another very interesting depth piece to the offense as far as weapons are concerned, does it really fix all the Jets' problems and all their ills? It doesn't. I don't know how it does. And look, come Sunday, if Davante Adams catches a pass down the sideline, breaks a couple of tackles, and scores a touchdown that ends up helping the Jets beat the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday in what's going to be a very rough game, we're all going to be excited about that deal then. We'll all be excited about Davante Adams and his contributions to the team, and he can contribute in big ways, absolutely, even at 32. And, of course, there have been questions about his hamstring, as we all know. If he contributes, people will be excited. But it doesn't fix all the ills that are a part of this franchise right now. Now, it's a conditional third-round pick that could become a second based on performance and team performance. Could become a second-round pick if the Jets advance to the playoffs and he has a major part of that and they get to, let's say, AFC Championship or Super Bowl. Very unlikely, of course. But that's part of the package. But the Jets have to absorb his entire contract. He's getting... Now, it was initially an $11 million contract that's been negotiated down to $3.2 million that I understand here from Adam Schefter. And there's 2 voidable years that were added to the deal with the Vegas Raiders that the Jets also took Each of those years were $36 million apiece. Obviously, the Jets and Adams have to sit down and renegotiate this and turn it into basically a what's left of a 1-year deal. I see what we can do with Adams, because it makes no sense for the Jets to carry that much money for a guy who, again, is 32 years old, very talented, but also with an injury right now. And also a player who is very disgruntled. So you move a disgruntled player from a bad team to another bad team right now in the New York Jets. It just leaves questions. It leaves so many questions for me. That's why I can't be excited. And I go online and I see some Jet fans jumping up and down saying, "We're back. We're going to make this thing happen. We're going to run away with this thing. We're going to win 7 of the next 8 games." How do you know that? How do you know the Jets are going to win 7 of the next 8 games? What has this team done in 6 weeks that leads you to believe that they can go out there and rally off 7 or 8 wins? Yes, the offense was a little bit better yesterday on Monday Night Football. They were a little bit better. Breece Hall ran for over 100 yards on Monday night. Okay? He also got stuffed at the goal line and didn't score on a play that could have given the Jets the lead. Yes, Garrett Wilson had over 100 yards receiving. Yes, Alan Lazard had another big day and, of course, caught the Hail Mary pass by Aaron Rodgers, who just makes those plays look routine. And yes, Aaron Rodgers, as we all know, even at 40, even beaten up with the injuries that he's had this year, and even the last couple of years with the Jets, still can throw a rocket down the football field. We all know that. But there's so many other problems with this team. I don't see how this is going to get any better. It may get marginally better with Davante Adams. You might see a little more razzle-dazzle with the offense. And what happens if, let's just say, Adams struggles, or let's say the Jets continue to struggle? What's that going to be like with Davante Adams and also Aaron Rodgers, 2 guys who can be a little prickly with the media? That's going to be something to watch as well. So, it is so frustrating with this football team. It feels like, as somebody said earlier today, that the Jets do everything ass backwards. Everything ass backwards. If the Jets had gotten Davante, if they had completed that trade with the Raiders a week ago, 2 weeks ago, going into that London game or going into this game on Monday night, it feels different. It has a different ring to it. It really does. Because these were games that I circled on the calendar at the beginning of the year. Must win. These were going to be tough games, and the Jets had to be in a position to try to win those games, and had to win those games. They came up short each time. Speaking of coming up short, how about right now Greg Zuerlein missing a couple of field goals? The first one really wasn't his fault. The wind took it. The second one, completely his fault, is he hit the goalpost. He hit the post. What's going on with him is he's been missing a number of field goals lately here to start the season. If this whole thing, we started this whole thing with the Jets about accountability a couple weeks ago when they played that Denver game and they lost 10-9, and it led to, of course, Robert Saleh's firing a couple weeks later. excuse me, after that Vikings game, and we still see a lot of the same issues now. How is that going to change now moving forward? This is not how you build a championship football team, guys. This is not a championship football team right now. The only thing the Jets have done right, here over the last, done right here in these 6 weeks, and done right on Monday Night Football, was wear these uniforms. That's it. Okay? Obviously it's a little bit different because it has the patch there, but it's the same, generally it's the same uniform, just a lighter green. The fact that we were able to see that uniform again, that's the best thing that came out of Monday night. And maybe the Hail Mary pass as well. That's it. Other than that, it's wait and see again here with this Jets team. And I can't sit here and say I'm optimistic. It's let's see what happens. Let's see what happens now here at Davante Adams, what he can add to this offense. We know he's a talented, incredible player, Hall of Fame-worthy receiver. Let's see what he adds to this offense as far as playmaking is concerned. But as far as all the other things that are wrong with this team, they got a lot of work to do. And as I think I mentioned the Hassan Reddick thing as well, that's so bizarre as well. He gets fired by Reddick gets dropped by CAA because of the holdout. He hires Drew Rosenhaus. Rosenhaus saying that they want to try to work with the Jets and come to a long-term deal. Then you have the story that the Jets told Reddick he can go out there and pursue the trade that he asked for back in the summer. I mean, it's so crazy. And the Jets have no pass rush right now. You know, it would almost behoove the Jets to try to figure this out with Reddick because they need an edge rusher. You have all this collateral. You inherit all this money that you're going to have to pay. This contract you're going to have to pay to someone like a Davante Adams, but you want to get rid of the player you really do need in Hassan Reddick. And look, it's not all the Jets' fault, obviously, because Reddick certainly doesn't seem like he wants to be here. At least that's been the feeling over the last several weeks. So bizarre, folks. It's so frustrating and it's so bizarre. At least we have the Mets and the Yankees right now. At least we have those two teams, because I don't know what else to say. Leave your thoughts below, like and subscribe. We'll talk to you next time.